Chapter 3 Kissing Booth. With a box of Candy Mountain baking chocolate tucked under her arm, Ginger hurried across the quad. On this morning, as on most mornings at Ever After High, the sun glowed gently, bathing the students in a nearly perfect state of warmth. Gray skies and storms were rare on campus, and usually the result of a spell gone wrong. Luckily, four-leaf closers and perky buttercups peeked out between cobblestones. Fairy tales sparkled in the air, and the scent drifted from an open cafeteria window, tickling Ginger's nose. Stone soup, she thought, sounds like most good cooks. Ginger possessed a heightened sense of taste and smell. She detected a dash of pickled pepper in the soup. Nothing more. It was a boring recipe, but Hagatha, the school's cook, was not known for her inventive menus. If Ginger had been tasked with making the stone soup, she would have added a hint of possibly a delightful flavor enhancer. As she imagined what kind of dessert she might serve after the soup, Ginger stopped in her tracks. Was she seeing what she thought she was seeing? She slid her pink glasses up the bridge of her nose and blinked. Hopper Cloakington II, son of the Frog Prince, stood directly across the quad, and around his neck hung a sign that read, "Kiss me." What in ever after? Ginger nodded. Normally, she wouldn't be interested in a boy wearing a "Kiss me" sign, but she'd been secretly crushing on Hopper since the first day of school. Who could resist those adorable freckles and big green eyes? Or that carefree tousled chestnut hair? But it wasn't just his good looks that attracted her. She liked his unique qualities. First, he possessed his own sense of style, preferring embroidered jackets, tailored vests, kawaii shorts, and loafers. Some might call it a look of privilege, worn by a boy who had lived a life of entitlement. But Ginger saw it as quirky. She admired quirky. And second, though Hopper tended to hang out with boys like Sparrow Hood, son of Robin Hood, and Daring Charming, he also had a few friends more on the geeky side of the fence, like the tech club guys. It was part of Hopper's dual nature, like a cookie that ordinarily frosted on one side with a wholesomely plain on the other. But what was he doing now? Hopper stood inside a booth, leaning on a counter. A big jar sat next to him. Above his head, a banner read, "Tech Club Kissing Booth. $1 per kiss." The jar was empty. Then Ginger understood what was going on. School clubs and teams often set up fundraisers, tables and booths in the squad. Last week, the cheer hexers held a bake sale. They'd relied on Ginger to provide most of the treats, which she'd been happy to do. After that, the acrobatics team had held a raffle. The winning ticket holder won an apple pie, baked by Ginger, of course. Today, it appeared to be the tech club's turn. Ginger knew most of the members of the tech team because they helped the record the Miracast show. Hopper was the newest member, having just joined last week in order to get some extra credit. Don't be shy. Kiss the tech guy. The tech club president, Humphrey Dumphrey, son of the accident-prone Humpty Dumpty, was trying to catch the attention of a few passing students. He stood outside the booth, his glasses bobbing as he rapped, "Only $1, try your luck." No one seemed to be paying any attention. He put his hands on his hips and frowned. "Oh, come on, people! We need money to update our equipment!" Ginger stared at the booth. She could barely contain her smile. This was the most spectacular thing that had happened since she'd gotten that special delivery of singing sprinkles last month. She could never work up the courage to tell Hopper how she felt, but there he stood with a big invitation hanging from his neck. Was this her chance to sneak a little kiss without having to admit her true feelings? "Hey, Hopper!" a voice called. Just as Hopper looked up, Ginger darted behind a tree. Had he seen her? Her heart began to pound. She didn't want to be caught staring. On the other hand, wasn't it worse to be caught hiding? Why did she get so brainwashed around him? She could cook a 17-course meal without flinching, but one look from Hopper and her brain was as soft as a plum pudding. Cautiously, she peered out from behind the tree's trunk. Sparrow Hood strolled up to the bush with his guitar over his shoulder. "Are you working, dude?" "Yeah," Hopper told him. "I'm helping Humphrey raise some money." "Money?" "I'm helping Humphrey raise some money." "Money!" Sparrow sang the word. The studs on his leather jacket glinted in the sunlight. "I love money, but why work for it? Just as your family for some dobro." Humphrey stopped rapping. "We don't need our parents," he explained to Sparrow. "We're going to earn this money on our own." "Earn the money?" Sparrow struck a chord on his guitar. "What a concept," he sang. A nearby bird squawked in protest. "How much have you made?" "Nothing," Humphrey said with a big sigh. "I'm beginning to suspect that no one wants to kiss me." "Speak for yourself," Hopper said, his voice still full bravo. Obviously, the only reason girls aren't stopping to kiss me is because they're all too busy." He smoothed one of his embroidered sleeves, then the other. "I mean, look around. No one out there." At that very moment, some of the girls from the cheerleading squad passed by. "Hello, ladies," Hopper said, puckering up his lips. "No need to wince. Why not kiss a prince?" Now the girl stopped. Sparrow strummed a few chords. "Awkward!" Poor Hopper. No one seemed interested in kissing him. The sparrow was being a big tease. Ginger reached into her jacket's inner pocket and pulled out a $5 bill. At the current rate, that would buy 5 kisses. She frowned. Who was she kidding? She didn't even have the courage to buy 1 kiss. But if she hurried past, she could sneak her money into the jar. Then Hopper wouldn't feel totally rejected. She peered around the trunk. Sparrow scratched his chin. Well, I wish you dudes the best of luck. I've got band practice with the merry man. I'll catch ya later. After a long guitar riff, he strolled away. I'm going to, Hopper told Humphrey. Don't go yet, Humphrey pleaded. He adjusted his bow tie. Just a few more minutes. I'm sure some girl will stop. Look, here comes Briar. Briar? Hopper's voice cracked when he said her name. Briar Beauty, daughter of Sleeping Beauty, the one of the most popular princesses at Ever After High. And everyone knew that Hopper was madly crushing on her. Humphrey and Hopper stared open-mouthed as Briar and her friend Applewhite approached. Applewhite, daughter of Snow White. Both girls were princesses with happily ever after destinies. They were close friends and had become even closer because of the recent uprising of the rebels. Ever After High students who didn't want to embrace their pre-written destinies. Ginger never called herself a rebel, but she certainly wanted to choose her own path. Humphrey started rapping again, bouncing around in an odd, wobbly way on his skinny legs. Ginger thought he should be more careful, given that his destiny was to fall and break into pieces. Why not try your luck and buck her up? Hopper leaned on the booth's counter and waved his eyebrows. What's up, ladies? He was trying to act smooth, but whenever he got around Briar, Hopper was about as smooth as an oatmeal cookie. People call me Hopper, but you can call me tonight. He made a smooching sound and pointed to his cheek. Briar and Apple stopped walking. Briar pushed her crown glasses down on her forehead. Let me get this straight. You want us to pay you? She smiled. For a kiss? Apple giggled. Have you guys flipped your crowns? I'd like to flip your crown, Hopper said, staring at Briar. Oh, I'd like to flip your crown, Hopper said, staring at Briar. Briar put her hands on her lips. What does that mean exactly? Hopper paused. And then something terrible happened. Ginger saw it coming a mile away. Often, when Hopper tried to talk to Briar, he ended up blushing, and then, ever he blushed, he, poof, turned into a frog. Then, poof, accompanied by a little cloud, Hopper the boy disappeared, and Hopper the frog materialized for a moment. He hung in mid-air as if suspended by an invisible thread. His green legs kicked madly. Then Hopper and the Kiss Me sign landed on the counter. After adjusting his tiny gold crown, he rose onto his hind legs and said in a deep voice, Has fortune smiled upon me, I do glimpse the fair Briar, waiting in line to plant a delicate kiss upon my cheek. If so, I shall never wash that cheek again. This was yet another example of Hopper's dual nature. In frog form, he was poetic and smooth. In human form, he came across as awkward and squirmy. He also tried so hard, but managed to say the wrong thing at the wrong time again. His pickup lines were the worst. Very funny, but no thanks. Briar slid her crown glasses back onto her nose, then yawned super wide. It was in her DNA to fall asleep anytime, anywhere, so she tended to yawn a lot. Apple, who tried to be nice to everyone, took some money from her bag. "I'm happy to donate to the cause," she said, stuffing bills into the jar. "But I'm saving all my kisses for my future Prince Charming." Then she and Briar walked away. As they passed by the tree, Ginger overhead, Briar whispered, "Hopper always says the weirdest stuff." Then she yawned again. "He's just trying to impress you," Apple said soothingly. Then she disappeared around the hedge that had been trimmed to the letters E-A-H. Hopper the Frog crossed his green legs. "It would appear that my attempts to entice the gentler gender hath been vain." Then poof! The spell wore off, and he was back to a boy form. And the transform never seemed to last long. His curse to be a frog forever until a princess kissed him was not supposed to happen until he was an adult. Ginger leaned away from the tree so she could get a better look at Hopper's face. His downcast eyes and slumped shoulders told her that her suspicions were true. While he tried to play it cool on the outside, on the inside he was as vulnerable to rejection as anyone. "Every time I try to talk to Briar, I turn into a frog," Hopper complained. "It drives me crazy. Girls don't like frogs. They think they're slimy." "I don't mind frogs," Ginger wanted to say. Humphrey patted Hopper's shoulder. "Let's keep trying. I'm sure that—" "Why bother?" Hopper said. "Why bother?" Hopper suddenly straightened up and cleared his throat. "It's their loss," he said, puffing out his chest. "They don't know what they're missing." Then he adjusted his gold crown. He sauntered away. Even though he used the word "they," Ginger knew he was talking about one girl, Briar. "Don't feel bad," Humphrey said, hurrying after him. "They don't want to kiss me either." Poor Hopper, Ginger thought. She knew how deeply rejection stung, but she also knew that not everything was as it appeared. A pickled lemon pie might look unbearably sour, but after a few bites it held other complex flavors. She glanced at her mirror phone. Uh-oh. It was late. It was getting late, and she needed to set up before the Miracast show. As she left the squad, she wished there was some way she could help Hopper feel better.